Hi, I'm Routerbob. Welcome to another ShopSabre Minutes. Today we're going to talk about ShopSabre's exclusive HiFlow vacuum technology. Nested base manufacturing revolutionized the panel processing industry in America, and here's how that happened. We basically take each component of a job, we sort them by material, and we nest them on the sheets for the maximum yield. All right, now the key to the whole thing though is the ability to actually go from one sheet to the next with zero setup. The key is zero setup. Now at the end, nested base was successful because it produced parts at the lowest possible cost. Well, how do we make that happen? Well, we had to create a way for zero setup, and we did that with a process we call flow-through fixturing. Here's how HiFlow works. We start out with a piece of standard MDF. We remove the dense surfaces on the top and bottom, and that leaves a very porous core. That goes on our vacuum table, then our material actually sits on there. Vacuum sucks through the MDF and holds the sheet down. Now, when we cut the parts out, we're very, very careful about not cutting through the parts too much because we don't want to create vacuum channels where vacuum would leak. This is really the basis behind zero setup. The superiority of the ShopSabre vacuum table system is really based on a concept we call HiFlow, and let me unpack that for you. Our goal is to try to get as much vacuum as possible to the underside of the parts. Here's how we accomplish that. First, it starts out with how we make the vacuum table itself. We start out with the table attached to the base frame, and then we do the actual machining with the spindle. That makes everything line up. In fact, it's so accurate, we normally don't require gasketing between the spoil board and the table itself. Our competitors can't make that claim. Then we also have developed a special system within the table to give us really great exposure to the underside of the MDF. Basically, we have about 50% more exposure than most competitors' machines. The next most important part of the HiFlow system is how we get vacuum from the pump to the table itself. And let me explain how we accomplish that. First, we divide the vacuum tables into zones in case you don't want to use the whole table. But we connect those with oversized PVC pipes. Those go to valves, and those valves are large valves that we use to control those zones. Now, those valves actually go into a frame member and become a vacuum plenum. Now, think about that. It's a vacuum tank. What that does is you get much more consistent part holding because of that. Then, from that vacuum plenum, we basically run a 4-inch PVC pipe to the back of the machine, and that hooks to the vacuum pump. A lot of our competitors want to supply you with what they call a universal table. We call it a pod table. Here's what that means. In order to use those pods, we have to space the grooves for the vacuum much wider. Well, the consequence of that is you just don't get as much vacuum contact to the underside of the spoil board. But that's not all. Let's say you want to do nested base manufacturing and use an MDF spoil board. Number one, you're probably going to have to put a gasket around the perimeter, and then vacuum gets through there through all these little plugs. So you're going to have to take those out. When you put all that together, it creates what we call a restrictor plate effect. And the truth of the matter is, most people who buy these machines will never use a pod on them. Here at ShopSabre, we think a much better strategy is to supply your machine with a really state-of-the-art HiFlow vacuum table, because most of the time you're going to be doing flow-through. If you need to use pods, we have a pod adapter plate that works great. We just think long-term that's a better solution for you, the customer. I hope you enjoyed the video and are as excited as I am about our ShopSabre HiFlow vacuum technology. If you like this video, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can contact us at shopsabre.com. Thank you for watching.